Someone came to me with a income producing property that they were looking to sell for $500,000. Hi, I'm Dimitrios. I'm a realtor and I help people get properties sold that are tough to sell. So this property was certainly a tough one. It was a rooming house in Baltimore City that was generating, $5,000 a month, and he'd had it on the market trying to get $500. It dropped it to $450 and wasn't having any success. So when you look at different types of income properties, rooming houses are at the bottom of the list. So another property that's generating $5,000 a month could easily get $500,000 as a sales price if it's a nice property in a nice neighborhood. We call that kind of the 1% rule, where the monthly rent is 1% of the gross purchase price. But when you kind of tier down the level of properties, maybe you come down to Section 8 or you come down to a rooming house, which is more of at the bottom, then you're not going to get that. You'd get closer to a 2%. So that would mean instead of $500,000, it'd be $250,000. And the $5,000 a month, he wasn't always getting that. So realistically, you could be between $200,000 and $250,000. Which he didn't really like that. So we said, all right, well, let's look at it a different way. Let's do a cap rate calculation for you. So we did the math, took his expenses into account and the vacancies, and we said, all right, you're generating maybe $30,000 income on this property a year at a 10% cap rate, which is pretty generous because it's a hands-on management situation. Typically for this type of property, that would dictate a max, $300,000 purchase price, which he was considering because he wasn't he really wanted to be done with this property and was ready to move on, but the numbers were just lower than he wanted. He did have a apartment attached to the rooming house, a 2-bedroom 2-bath, separate structure, which maybe you could find someone who's looking to live in that and manage the rooming house themselves and pay a premium for it if that person can get an FHA mortgage on the property. But it really just kind of informs you that if you have a property, not all income properties are obviously the same, and if he's trying to sell this property, he's got to look at it from who's the buyer going to be, what are they going to be willing to pay, and what do people pay for properties like this? Because if he's asking double what it's worth, then it's not going to sell. So I explained the options to him, and he's going to think about what he wants to do, and we'll see if he wants to sell it for a reasonable price and move on, or if he wants to hold it and make good cash flow, because those things do throw off a lot of cash. You just got to be very hands-on with them.